Have you ever had a single day that quietly divided your life into a before and an after? A day that did not look special from the outside, but inside, something shifted so deeply that you could never see yourself the same way again. This is the story of Ethan, a young man who discovered one powerful life lesson that did not just change his mood or his week. It changed the way he saw every problem, every person, and every part of his own life. Stay with this story till the end, because this same lesson might be the one thing you have been missing. Ethan was one of those people who felt like life was always a little bit unfair. He worked at a small office in the city, doing a job he did not love, for a boss who never seemed to notice him unless something went wrong. His friends were moving ahead, new cars, better apartments, engagement posts on social media. Ethan felt stuck in the same place, like he was pressing the gas but the car would not move. Every time something went wrong, he had a reason. The economy was bad, his parents had not helped him enough, his boss was annoying, other people got lucky, he did not. On this particular morning, Ethan checked his phone and saw an email. He had been passed over for a promotion. Again, a co-worker who had joined after him, a guy he secretly thought was less hard-working, got the position. His chest tightened, his mind filled with the same old thoughts. Of course, this always happens. People like me never get ahead. Life is rigged. He dragged himself to work, anger sitting heavy on his shoulders. At the office, everyone was congratulating the co-worker who got the promotion. There were smiles, backslaps, jokes. Ethan sat at his desk, jaw tight, pretending to type while his mind kept repeating one line. This is not my fault. It is theirs. That night, Ethan met his Uncle Mark for dinner. His uncle was one of those calm, steady people who never seemed rushed by life. Ethan had always wondered how he stayed so peaceful, even when things went wrong. They sat at a small diner table. Ethan pushed his food around his plate and finally let it out. He complained about his boss. He complained about the company, the timing, the economy, his parents, even his own luck. Every sentence started the same way. They do this. They never. Life always. His uncle listened quietly, not interrupting. When Ethan finally stopped, breathing hard, his uncle took a slow sip of coffee and asked one simple question. Ethan, in everything you just told me, where are you? Ethan frowned. What do you mean? I just told you what happened. His uncle nodded. No, you told me what everyone else did. You told me what life did. You did not tell me what you did. Where are you in your own story? Those words hit him in a strange way. It felt like someone had just turned on a light in a dark room he did not know he was sitting in. For a moment, Ethan wanted to argue. He wanted to say, you do not understand. It really is their fault. But something inside him was tired of that same answer. His uncle leaned forward and said very softly, let me ask you this. If you keep waiting for other people to change, for the world to be fair, how long will you wait? 1 year, 10, your whole life? Ethan looked down at his hands. He realized he had been waiting his whole adult life for someone else to fix things. Then his uncle said the sentence that would change everything for Ethan. The moment you decide to take full responsibility for your life, without blaming anyone else, that is the moment your life truly begins. Ethan almost laughed. How does that help? Are you saying everything is my fault? His uncle shook his head. No, everything is not your fault. But your response is always your responsibility. You cannot control what they did. You can control what you do next. As long as you stay the victim in your own head, you give away all your power. Those words sank in slowly. Ethan replayed the last few months in his mind. He thought about the times he had shown up late to work, telling himself the traffic was bad. He remembered the extra projects he had avoided because he was sure no one would notice anyway. He thought about how often he scrolled on his phone, instead of learning new skills or improving his work. For the first time, he saw a pattern. Not of bad luck, but of small choices. It was a painful realization, but strangely, it also felt like relief. If he had played a part in creating this life, then maybe he could play a part in changing it. In that diner, with the sound of quiet conversations in the background and the smell of coffee in the air, Ethan made a silent decision. No more waiting for someone else to save him. No more blaming everyone and everything. He was going to take responsibility, not for what happened to him, but for what he would do from this day forward. The weeks that followed did not magically become easy. Nothing outside changed overnight. His salary was the same. His boss was the same. His co-workers were the same. But Ethan was not the same. He started setting his alarm earlier and showing up on time, even when he was tired. He stopped telling himself the story that no one noticed. Instead, he asked, "What kind of person do I want to be, even if no one is watching?" He began taking on tasks that were not in his job description, not to impress his boss, but to prove something to himself. He used his evenings not just for scrolling, but for learning, short online courses, articles about his field, books on communication and leadership. Every time he felt the old voice in his head saying, "This is pointless, no one cares," he answered with a new voice, "Maybe no one else cares, but I do, and that is enough to start." Months passed. Slowly, quietly, people around him started to notice a shift. His boss began trusting him with more responsibility. Co-workers asked him for help and advice. The same job, the same office, but completely different energy. One afternoon, his boss called him into the office. Ethan felt his old fear rise up, but this time he did not shrink. He stood tall. "Ethan," his boss said, "I have noticed the change in your work, your attitude, your initiative. There is a new position opening up next quarter. I want you to be ready for it." Ethan walked out of that office with a quiet smile. The promotion was not the victory. The victory had already happened inside him. The day he stopped blaming and started owning his life. The powerful life lesson he learned was simple, but it changed everything. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you are always responsible for how you respond. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, you take back your power now. Think about your own life for a moment. Where are the places where you feel stuck, angry, or helpless? Is it your job, your relationships, your finances, your health? It is easy to say, "It is because of them, because of this system, because of my past." And sometimes, you are right. Life is not always fair. People make mistakes. Circumstances can be hard. But here is the truth that changed Ethan's life. Blame might feel good in the moment, but it keeps you powerless. Responsibility might feel heavy at first, but it gives your power back to you. Taking responsibility does not mean everything is your fault. It means you stop waiting for someone else to rescue you, and you start asking, "What can I do now, with what I have, where I am?" Maybe the change is small: waking up a little earlier, saving a little money, speaking a little more kindly, learning one new skill. One powerful life lesson can change everything. If you let it move from your mind into your daily choices, you cannot control every event in your story, but you can choose to be the author, not just the victim. If this story of Ethan touched your heart, take a moment to ask yourself one honest question. Where in my life can I stop blaming and start taking responsibility today? Even one small decision in that direction can become the start of your afterstory. The moment everything begins to change. If you felt something while listening, if this gave you a new way to see your own life, support this journey of stories. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Comment below what part of Ethan's story you related to the most, or what powerful life lesson changed your life. And if you want more simple, real, and heart-touching stories like this, do not forget to subscribe to Life Lesson Stories. Your next powerful lesson might be in the very next video.